Section 3.7. In this section, you will see questions like this. Circle true or false for each statement. And you will see statements like this. A. This is the leading tone in E minor. B. This is the subdominant in C sharp major. C. This is the supertonic in F minor. In order to answer questions like this, we need to learn what we call the scale degree names. Each note in a scale has a name. Let's take C major as an example. The first note is called the tonic. The second note is called the supertonic. The third is called the median. The fourth is called the subdominant. The fifth note is called the dominant. The sixth note, the submedian. And the seventh note, the leading note. And lastly, we go back to the tonic. In any major and minor scale, for example C major or D major, A minor or F minor or A flat minor, the notes in these keys all have their corresponding names. In other words, the first note in any scale is always called the tonic. And similarly, the second note in any scale is called the supertonic, and the third, the median, and so on, regardless of the key. There's one thing that we should note, however, is the leading note, also known as the leading tone. Because in a minor key, if you still remember from our previous video, the seventh notes are always raised in a harmonic scale. And when we say leading note, they always refer to the raised seventh of the minor scale, that is, the harmonic minor scale. Now looking back at the questions, let's focus on the first one. We're given a D note in the scale of E minor. And if we look at the key signature grid, in E minor, we have only F sharp. However, because it says it's a leading note, we need to remember that it should be a raised seventh in the E minor scale. So instead of a D, it should be a D sharp. So the answer is false. In the second question, we're given a C sharp major. And the note in concern here is a G sharp in the alto clef. Now let's think about the C sharp major scale. What is the subdominant or the fourth note of the scale? Well, that will be from C, which is the first note, and D, E, F. So that should be an F. And of course, according to the key signature grid, in C sharp major, we should also have an F sharp. So in this case, the subdominant in C sharp major should be an F sharp, but not a G sharp. So the answer is false. The third question, we're given an A note in the key of F minor. If we think about the F minor, the supertonic will be a G, because the second note in F minor is probably a G note. And of course, we should also double check with the key signature grid to see if the F minor has any flat to the supertonic note. And not really, it's just a G, because the G is not supposed to be flattened. And in this case, the answer is the false, because the given note here, A, is not even the second note in F minor. And that's how we do this question. All we need to do is to make sure that we memorize the scale degree names, and also that in the minor scale, the leading tone refers to the raised seventh of the harmonic scale. If you're looking for some more practice, I'll highly recommend that you visit this interactive site where I've put together a lot of practice tests and mock papers with instant feedback. In the drill mode, you'll have access to all the questions section by section, so that you can focus on specific question types and practice them until you feel confident. There are virtually unlimited questions. In the exam mode, you have access to full papers in the exact format of the exam, with randomized questions each time. You have 2 hours to finish the complete paper, at the end of which you'll be given your score and feedback.